What's up guys, Bloodshed here. Today we're going to talk about a Witch Doctor Jade starter build survival guide for Diablo 3 and season 13. We're in season 13 already, oh my goodness. So in this video, it's more of a theory crafting discussional video where I take you from level 1 all the way to the speed build and beyond, right? And I'm going to have all the builds in a timeline in the description. So when you're at a certain juncture in progression, you just click on the video and there you are. We're going to start off the video by talking about level 1 blood shard usage with a challenge rift bag. If you don't know what that is, again, check the description, go look on my channel. Pretty much all the builds are based off of getting the challenge rift bag. All right, let's bring up Witch Doctor. Starting at level 1, you can get a gazing demise, and it's the only actual option, and it does incredible amounts of damage. We literally, as soon as we got Spirit Barrage, we were on T6. Leveling, just crushing it. It's a really, really good item to get. I would wait though. So if you want damage and you want to be a top D Witch Doctor, just go for it. It's a really good item. I would hold off on opening the bag until level, I believe 31, you get a Quizzicoatl. And that synergizes with the Jade set that we're getting next season, or this season. I would try to get lucky and roll for a Quizzicoatl. Locust Swarm and Haunt now deal their damage in half of their normal duration. Just because this is something that you're gonna really need with the Jade build. It's not guaranteed you get it. It's gonna be tied in with all the other helms, but it's a really monster item to get with your speed build, and it's just synergized perfectly with everything together. So now you hit 70, and you're using the generic starter build that we made. It's down below in the description, of course. You go through the season journey, which is super easy, by the way. You get your 4-piece set bonus. Just kind of follow the season journey along. And this is the build that we're gonna build into, okay? Jade has a really, really strong start because it has kind of a damage increase multiplier built into the set. So feel free to screenshot this if you like. The 2-piece, when Haunt lands on an enemy already affected by Haunt, it instantly deals 560 seconds worth of Haunt damage. And the 4-piece, Soul Harvest gains the effect of every rune. So it's similar to the Shadow build that we were talking about. Let's go ahead and show you Soul Harvest. You actually don't need any rune because it gives you all of them. But yeah, you get more mana, you get life back. So it's like a little mini healing potion if you hit a lot of enemies. Languish gives you armor, movement speed with Soul to Waste, and then Vengeful Spirit. Harvested enemies also take 640% weapon damage. So it's like your nuke, right? So if you don't know Jade, you basically throw out your haunts. And normally you Locust Swarm, but we don't have that just yet in the 4-piece. We don't have to worry about that. And then you just boom, hit them with Soul Harvest. That's your little nuke, and you're good to go. I decided to use pets in this version of the build. I just find it much more enjoyable to let them tank and kind of watch everything, and then you just dot and just bounce around and destroy everything. It's really good. And besides, you don't get your 50% damage reduction until you get the 6-piece set. And it does a lot more damage and gives you basically a unity built into the set. So yeah, this is the 4-piece. It destroyed GR20. Again, if you don't know, we don't use any Paragon in the testing. We use all baseline gems. It's just the armory takes them out when I switch the armory around. Baseline gems in the build, nothing in the cube, right? We really just kind of try to kill the build as much as possible. So when you guys play it, you just destroy face roll everything. Before you even attempt the GR20 clear, you can do a few things to give yourself a little bit more of an edge. You can go ahead and do a greater rift, whatever one's comfortable. You can even do a level 1 greater rift. You're guaranteed to get Bane of the Powerful every single season. That's the first legendary you get every single season. And that's just gonna give you a 20% flat damage increase when you kill an elite pack. You can kill Malthael, get the Reaper's Wraps, craft them with your bounty materials, because you have to do bounties to get your 4-piece anyway. You know, Ring of Royal Grandeur, we're going to look out for. That's another thing for sure. When constructing your starter build, your 4-piece, your 6-piece, you definitely want to look for things with double crit and main stat. It's really, really powerful. I use 2-handed staves on all my characters, like Wizard. Pretty much every character almost uses a 2-handed staff or a 2-handed mace. It just has really high damage ranges, and that's what all the skills are based off of weapon damage. So it kind of makes you stronger than the content early game, and it just dominates. Later on, it's more about multipliers and synergy, but early game, it's about that raw, you're just kind of bullying through the rift. So you go through, you slap the GR20 clear around, and you get your 6-piece bonus. You're looking fly, you got your color coordination going on. Here's the build that I decided to go with. Again, This Jade does get a Unity built in, but I feel like you need more survivability, so I went with Swampland Attunement. I just feel like it's just better overall, and Lifelink from Zombie Dogs is giving us that extra survivability. I took off Garg and I added Locust Swarm, so it's like the same type of combo. So you kind of run around, you hit him with Locust Swarm, you hit him with Haunt a few times, and then you hit him with Soul Harvest. That's basically the combo. If you group them up with Piranhas, you get 15% increased damage, and the Creeping Death, like all these amplifications, everything works together perfectly. You basically run around, dot, and then blow them up, right? Once you get the Wormwood, you won't even have to cast Locust Swarm anymore. But again, this is like early game testing. We're not using anything beneficial in the cube. I'm just assuming you didn't get shit, right? If you got anything good, you're just better off than the video, right? This is just for the people that have bad RNG. You're like, cool, Blood, you know, I got my 6-piece, like, what do I go from here? Well, I would probably recommend upgrading daggers. Staves are good. There's a lot of things you can do, but that dagger is really gonna, like, all Witch Doctor builds use a Sacred Harvester. I would just YOLO and go for the dagger. The Ceremonial Knife, it is right here. The Sacred Harvester, probably the most famous Witch Doctor item in the new era, I guess I could say. Yeah, it lets Soul Harvest stack up to 10 times, which basically doubles your damage as Jade, and you know, just synergizes with everything. It even gives your Lacumba, which we're going to talk about later, more damage reduction, everything. So upgrade daggers, get yourself a Sacred Harvester for sure. Make sure you get to T7 as soon as possible. That way you get a 90% chance to get a Death's Breath from an Elite Pack. It's really important. It's like a nice little barrier. I think T6 is like 75%, and then it jumps to 90 on T7. So it's like a huge jump in percentage just from that one tier. Speaking about Lacumbas, what are we going to spend our blood shards on now that we have our Sacred Harvester, now that we're getting blood shards as we're doing rifts and getting all kinds of stuff? I would definitely get Lacumbas and a Haunting Girdle. That would be like a 1A, 1B. Haunting Girdle gives you an extra spirit. So you're shooting out extra spirits. It's actually has more chance to proc that double damage for you. And Lacumba Matata, reduce all damage taken by 6% for each stack of Soul Harvest you have. So even if you have a 5 stack, you know, 5 times 6, and if you have a 10 stack, 10 times 6. So it's a nice damage reduction for your character. Lacumbas is really good, and you can use it throughout the whole lifespan of your character. And then I would probably get a Vile Hive after that. It just makes it a little bit easier, gives you more survivability. Oop, it's a weapon. Locust Swarm gains the effect of Pestilence Rune and deals 60% increased damage. So it's a multiplier, which is great. I use Pestilence because it has a chance to jump around and get more dots, and then you can blow them up. But Cloud of Insects puts a debuff on the enemies, and they do 25% reduced damage. So it's more ways to survive. We are an intelligence class. We're like a caster, so we are kind of squishy. So all these little things go a long way in keeping us alive with Jade. And then of course you would follow I have a video down below, the Jade speed build. It's made last season, but it's the same build, the same patch, and it'll work beautifully for you. So that'll be down below, just like everything else in the description. Thank you guys so much for your support. Thank you for everything that you do. Follow me at twitch.tv/bloodshed. I stream Diablo and Monster Hunter currently. Those are my 2 Bay games. Maybe some WoW in the future, I don't know. Subscribe, like the video, share the video. I don't really blast my videos on different platforms, so if you like what you see and it helped you out, I would appreciate if you did that. I do have a Facebook. I kind of do everything, so check the description for everything. But that's gonna be all for me today. This is the Bloodshed. I'm tired. I'm out of here. Peace.